I wanted to talk about an upcoming game announcement that I'm really looking forward to. If you guys have been watching me for a while, whether here, on Game Ranks, wherever, you know I'm a really big fan of the original Fable games. Now, I thought it was a good reason to jump in today because Xbox teased a thing for their June 11th summer showcase type thing. We've known that's been coming for a while, looks at Starfield and stuff like that. We know there's a lot of gaming news coming this summer from the Summer Game Fest thing. We just got PlayStation's thing. I was really excited to hear about Spider-Man and stuff, but the thing I wanted to hear from Xbox side, there's all this stuff people want. I just kind of wanted to hear about Fable. We knew Fable was coming for years and years. It's been rumored. A few years ago, they teased it with a cinematic trailer, just kind of letting us know that they're making it. And I've mentioned how much I love the original Fable so much, but I never really got into it. So I want to talk about what specifically I would like to see with this new Fable. Now, I always say a caveat with these types of things. The developers may have their own creative vision, and if the game comes out or it's revealed or whatever, and it's not what I'm wanting here, that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad or I don't want to play it or anything, but here's what I would like to see. That's it. Really, long story short, the obvious is something special. I know that sounds so stupid, but the original Fable was just such a unique thing. It was also this weird combination of a cool, fun game, but also years of hype and build up and honestly, unrealized potential behind it. If you weren't around for the original Fable, that's fine. That means you're not that old. But if you were around, you need to know that there was so much hype, so much talk, so much building up of this game like you'd never believe. This shit would just not fly today. The creator of this game, Peter Molyneux, and his studio, Lionhead, had really big ambitions. And really, it was Peter, the studio head, talking up that this game was gonna change the world, and the amount of depth to the character progression and all this stuff, and trees would grow in the game, characters would grow old. It just sounded so out of this world. And we ate it up. Maybe it was because his previous games and his studio's previous games, like Black and White, were just dope, but I don't know. This thing for years was my obsession. I had a lot of obsessions as a kid that were brought on by gaming media, video game magazines and websites and stuff like that. The Metal Gear Solid, Resident Evil, the original Devil May Cry, Morrowind, Oblivion, Max Payne, a bajillion others, but Fable was definitely a big one. And when it released in 2004, no, it did not reach the incredible heights that the game was hyped up to be, but it still, to me, felt incredibly different and unique and unlike any other game or little adventure RPG out there, and I absolutely loved it. The adventuring, the vibe, the tone, the atmosphere, the fantasy vibes, the fall vibes, the spooky vibes, the heroic vibes, the evil vibes. I'm overusing the word vibes, but also just some pretty cool, inventive RPG stuff with how your character would grow and progress. Was it the most complex, most in-depth thing? No. But I think it was just so well imagined, so well realized, from the art direction to the sound, to the fairly simple combat, but to the cool looking characters and worlds and how you could develop your character. It all just really clicked. A very straightforward, simple adventure RPG with some pretty simple action combat, where the more you did things, the more you would earn points in a specific category and you could level up your character. Swing a sword more, get more buff and heroic. Use magic more, get better at magic, and eventually become this cool glowing being. And then an alignment system. Make good choices, do heroic things, don't kill anyone, do side quests the good way, just become a very heroic person with different emotes, different armor, and just an overall look. Be evil, steal, murder, do whatever you want, and you get cool bad guy armor, and eventually you start to kind of look like a demon, and horns slowly sprout out of your head. That tangible feeling, that tactile feeling to your character progressing through not only choosing to use melee or magic or ranged, but also do good and bad, and that slowly manifesting the visual appearance of your character was such a good hook. And honestly, that's what I want to see in this new Fable. There's so many games now that lack morality systems. We really liked morality systems, even some of the most binary, basic ones where it's just press A to be good, press B to be bad. Doesn't matter. They don't always need to be complex. They can often be satisfying. And that's what I would like to see here. That's probably one of the biggest things I just want to hit on because I think it's a new studio working on this. It's been confirmed to be Playground, the people who developed the Forza Horizon games, which at least, that's very good that they can make compelling open worlds. So you can assume this is probably going to be an open world thing, but to piggyback, like, I just want them to take some of the core things from Fable and do their own thing. I don't think they're going to essentially make a Fable 4. I think it's going to be a completely different thing. I mean, you could tell from that initial teaser trailer from a few years back, it had a little bit of a different vibe, right? Like, there was just something to it that felt a little different from the original Fable games, but it still had a little bit of that, like, spunk to it. And I definitely would like to see that return. I mean, Fable was a little spicy. Fable had a little bit of an edge to it. You know, it wasn't just totally straightforward, pure fantasy. There was some humor, there was some crudeness. It was just like a really good kind of British humor feeling type thing. And with this new studio also being based, I believe, in the UK, like, that's good. Maybe some of that humor will translate over. I'm curious to see style-wise what they do, because like that trailer that we got from a while back was very fantasy. And I mean, the Fable games are fantasy, but this is like fantasy. Like, I'm talking like poster in a head shop, or just like weird thing at the mall, like just like thrown up like gross stereotypical fantasies, wizards, stuff like that. That's what I got from that original teaser. So if they lean into that style and make it just like hyper fantasy, like cover of a book that you'd see in the grocery store, like fantasy romance novel, like if they go for that kind of style, that could be interesting just because it's different. And honestly, I don't want to see them one-to-one recreate the original fantasy style of the original Fables, because I don't think they could do that. But if they can keep some of the core tenets of the mood, the humor, that's what I would like to see. Not to mention the music. The music is a big thing. And with Xbox's little teaser for the showcase that felt like it was kind of teasing Fable, a lot of people were saying, hey, that sounds like some very Fable-esque music. Now, the Fable music is very, very important because I love it. It's been stuck in my head since I played the original game in 2004. Yes, I am insane. But the fact that the main theme was actually composed by Danny Elfman. Yeah, not a lot of people know that, but like Danny Elfman behind, I don't know, where do I even start? Oingo Boingo? Is that a weird place to start? I actually think Oingo Boingo is good, but the Sam Raimi Spider-Man scores, insert like every Tim Burton thing, the Batman 89 theme. The guy is an absolute killer, and he lent it to a theme for Fable, and it was absolutely incredible. I still think it's great to this day, so I'm curious to see what they're gonna do. The rest of the score was done by, I believe, Russell Shaw? Yeah, Russell Shaw, who is still in the industry, but he came up with the remainder of the score, kind of, you know, taking elements of that theme, and I thought all of it was so good. So I hope there's good emphasis on the music again. If that little teaser that Xbox like posted on their socials is any indication, like that music does really sound like some Fable-ass music. Dun, 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 the plucking, like all of it kind of sounds like the Bower Stone music, if you ask me specifically. So there might be something there with that. I'm curious to see how far that goes. I also don't necessarily need to have a character that speaks. Like, I would like to just be hero man or hero woman who's just like, ha ha. Like, that was how it was. They didn't talk, they just kind of emoted, and I like stuff like that. But in terms of story, they could do anything. If they tell a classic hero's journey tale, I'll be into that. If they try and get a little weird with it, I'd be into that. I think I would just like to make it feel epic, feel like it goes on for a long time, feel like you're really developing your own character. And I just want to be hooked on a world. Again, it doesn't have to be like what Lionhead created, but I just want to be hooked on a cool, intriguing world, going on adventures, going in dungeons, getting in fights, developing my character, and doing RPG stuff, but with a little bit of a different flair from your average RPG, because that's what the original Fable was. Ultimately, it's tough because it does have big shoes to fill, because again, it doesn't need to be Fable 4, but I think it just needs to retain and realize some of those things that made the originals so special. I don't even need it to like finish what Peter Molyneux started with, like just the incredibly ambitious concepts behind the original game that ended up being on the cutting room floor. I don't need this game to be the most ambitious, crazy RPG where my character lives to 100 and the world changes around me and trees grow and shit like that. I just need to be hooked on like a satisfying hero progression through this world in a tangible way, different than other RPGs, and a quirky, vibrant, weird, unique new fantasy world that I can fall in love with, maybe with a touch of humor like the originals. But yeah, as long as it's not that Fable game that they were making, that other one, what the hell was that even called? What was that called? Fable Legends? Was it called Fable Legends? It was called Fable Legends. Jeez, I'm glad I didn't need that. I'm just itching. I'm excited over like the potential and stuff like this. I've had the opportunity to be in rooms with like Xbox higher ups, and I've said to them, please make Fable good. And this isn't even like a console wars thing. Like, I don't think Xbox like needs I don't care, whatever. Maybe they do need another RPG, but I think that just players in general need an RPG. One that isn't just like endless side quests or just like regular loot or something, but something that has a little bit of inventiveness, a little creativity, a little humor, a little spark to it, a little charm. That's what I'd like to see. And no disrespect to all the incredible RPGs down there, like turn-based, isometric, action, Japanese, Western, I don't care. Fable just felt different. And it wasn't for everybody, but I'm happy it's possibly getting a new lease on life. And again, like, it's with Playground Games working on it, like, yeah, they make racing games. I understand the concern, but at the very least, they took a racing game and made it a fun open world concept. I have no idea how it could go. I'm just gonna hope for the best. Like, I'm gonna root for video games to be good. That's what I do. I hope they're good because I hate talking about bad ones. Talking about Gollum, however I pronounce it, I know people get mad. That game took years off my life. It was rough. So let's see where this new Fable will go. That's ultimately what I want. That's what I wanted to kind of yap about today. Thank you for bearing with me. I appreciate you being here. If you like what I'm trying to do, I'm just talking about stuff I love here on this channel. I want to hear what you guys think in the comments about an upcoming Fable. What do you need it to do? If you're an Xbox diehard, let me know what you think. If you're just an RPG fan who maybe dabbled in that, maybe like me, you just kind of play on all platforms, you don't care. What do you think Fable's got to do? What do you think Microsoft's got to do for this new Fable to be cool, to get you interested? Is it the Danny Elfman score? Is it the morality system? Is it the loot? Is it the humor? Is it the weird stuff? Was it the combat? I don't think it's the combat, but like, what is it about Fable that actually is having you keeping your eyes peeled for this new one? Let's talk about anything Fable down in the comments. We've never really done this. Maybe I'll do a full eventual video at some point breaking down the original Fable 1 and 2. Those are the ones I really like. Yeah, if I have time, I'll try and do something like that. But let's talk about Fable. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you for being here, listening to me. Clicking the like button helps. YouTube backers and Patreon members, thank you for having my back. But I'm Jake Baldino. See you guys next time. Pizza's on me. Subscribe because video games.